I like doing videos kind of under the cover of darkness just because you can kind of see that I am in my room, but I really want you to pay attention to my voice, not so much what I'm wearing or what I look like. And you'll see me in the light of day, obviously. But I do videos a lot, especially with the amount of viral energy that's in the environment. Like I felt like I was up since 4 a.m. this morning. Like 4 a.m. this morning. So I have been buzzing, buzzing, buzzing with activity since 4 a.m. And I ate throughout the day, and then towards the afternoon, I felt very jittery. So I was eating chips and I was eating things to absorb the viral energy. So that way, I don't feel like sugar dropping or anything. So that's what viral transducers feel like when they come through the environment. And I wasn't around anyone. My husband came home afterwards. So it's floating through my atmosphere. So anyways, I want to give you kind of a physics lesson with viruses because you must understand the severity of what's going on and why you need to stay away from crowds. I don't care if you've been recently vectored or not, or if you're taking all your different pills and powders. It's going to be a shit show. It already is because people are reporting on students who have gone to school and now they have like 76 people with one death of a teen. Okay? And of course, they don't have any vectors. Not that they would save anybody, really, but they don't have any vectors for children. So, but it doesn't even matter at this point. So, my husband gave me a physics lesson, but I want to go over again because I need to make sure I memorize this and it's in the back of my mind, in the back of your mind all the time. Newton has 3 laws, okay? And that is the laws of motion. The first law is what's at rest stays at rest. So this virus was at rest prior to it being released. So it didn't make any type of waves. There was no damage. No one really felt anything except for the usual flu stuff and whatever else was in the environment. And people were used to that lifestyle. So everyone's doing their thing. And then all of a sudden, a virus gets released by what and who? We don't know. We can speculate. And so now what's in motion stays in motion. So what was at rest, which was that virus, in the lab or in wherever, from an animal, who knows, okay, it was at rest. And then somehow there was something that triggered it to be put into motion. Because things don't just spontaneously go into motion. There has to be an outside force, whatever it is, with an intention to release. That is like a big bang that is putting matter and antimatter together, and there's a type of explosive potential. And so something now, what was at rest, is now in motion, and it's going to stay in motion. Okay? So now we know the virus is in motion, and it's going to stay in motion unless everything disappears off this earth, which is not going to happen. So, okay, so now we know that what's in motion stays in motion. Now it's force equals mass times acceleration. And this is the physics lesson that my husband showed me because he's better at doing a visual. And so he showed me, so I asked him a question. Well, you have 2 objects. One is 1 ton, one is 2 tons. Okay, and they're both going the same miles per hour, 100 miles per hour. Which one is going to do the most damage? Now, if you're asking that kind of question, then there's already first we get to perceive what is damage, because damage is relative to what it is that's intending to be damaged. So it was a wrong question asked, but he still gave me the physics lesson behind it. So he had a lighter in one hand and he had a pen in the other hand, and he dropped them both and showed that the pen, which has more penetrating force, poked the hole in the paper, and then the lighter, which was a bigger object, so it covered more surface, did more of the superficial, like it covered a broader distance, a broader area, and the pen had more penetrating force. So I'm like, oh, penetrating. I'm thinking, oh, spike proteins. Oh shit. So then, okay. And I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, oh, okay. So it's just a matter of what kind of damage are you trying to achieve. And so even though I asked the question, you have 2 objects and both are different weights, different masses, but and the acceleration is the same. Okay, so mass times acceleration equals the force. Okay, so then you're like, okay, so the force equals the mass times acceleration. So then you think about, oh yes, so you have a mass, like a huge mass of people with a virus in motion, which is staying in motion, and it has spike proteins. So there's two types of damage that's going to go on. You have a large mass, which large masses anyways attract and do more damage because there is the energy with that large object, because smaller objects don't have that much kind of gravitational pull, but larger objects do. And when you have a larger object with gravitational pull, it's going to have more of the force. Okay? Versus like a moon versus a planet that's bigger than the moon, the planet's going to have more force, but yes, that moon's still going to influence it, but the planet's still highly influential. So then you're like, okay, shit. So now you have the force, mass equals acceleration. So you have a large group of people mutating a virus with the spike proteins. The spike proteins are going to do so much damage because it has the penetrating force. And so it's only damage on a body that's not prepared for that evolutionary sequence. That's the key thing to understand, that you can look at the symptoms as either damage because you don't want to feed it, because you don't want to feel the pain, so you want to be able to stop it, and that's the thing with all these spike proteins, or the energy, or oh god, where's going to go with this? So you don't want to feed it, so you want to, yeah, so you have the most penetrating force, the biggest damage, and so that's what is going to cause then a person to then determine their own fate, how they react to what they think or what they perceive is happening. So when you feel the evolution from all the different variants mutating, you're supposed to feel everything. Okay, you're not supposed to be in a cured state of decline or a cured state at all. You're supposed to feel the evolution. So those spike proteins are going to evolve you. And then what you do is you go with that energy and you feed it and you feed it. Okay? And so then the third law of motion is what for every action there is an equal and or opposite reaction, plus or minus. So you have three different ways to deal with reactions. You have the initial action, which is the virus being released, and relative to the mass and the amount of people and the acceleration. And then you have, okay, the equal or opposite reaction, which is still energy. And that energy is on a body that either cannot handle or can handle the energy. But even if your body has the insulation, what kind of programming do you have in your body to handle that energy, to handle that type of evolutionary sequence? And so if somebody already has conflicting viral programming, then whatever reaction you do, whether it's a plus where you just feed it and you're taking in the virus and evolving and you feed it and you feel the energy and the symptoms, or you take in a therapeutic or a vector that has spike proteins that then release antibodies that are still causing energy and still causing a force within your body. Can you handle the force? You don't know. And then that will then cause antibodies to attack the evolution. And so then now you're dealing with the thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be converted. And then what's the second law of thermodynamics? Is entropy. That anytime that energy is transformed, it's wasted. It starts dividing. It's losing. It's causing more chaos, more dispersal, entropy. And then the third law of thermodynamics is then anything in a cured state will also be in a decline. And so you're seeing now what this virus is doing on bodies that don't understand the value of symptoms or know how to feed it or know how to reset the body. Okay? So this virus is abiding by, yes, thermodynamics, cellular biology, the laws of motion. And so you're going to see an accelerated aging population who already have predispositions going to see their symptoms and the stuff come to surface that may have come to surface 10 years from now, but now will probably come to surface maybe 5 years or 4 years from now, or even less than that, relative to their lifestyle. Because then they will, hold on a second. because then they're going to some people want to just live like nothing's happening, so they go out and hang out with a bunch of people, and they have predispositions, and they have all these different things going on, and so the energy of that virus that's in motion will stay in motion, and then the amount of people will accelerate the severity of it. And so I think this is why Trump and all the different people are playing both sides, and then all the different distractions with what's going on in Afghanistan, with all the debate stuff around the president stuff, Trump and Biden, um, all the stuff with the COVID stuff that people are talking about, with the schools and the debates around the masks and whether or not you should get a vector or not. And it's all distraction because it's setting us up for September and October for more of the mutations that go on. And so I'm telling you, we are living in the world of physics and chemistry and biology all wrapped into one with a virus that is unforgiving. A virus that says, I want to inhabit, I want to find a space, and I don't care if you can handle me or not. It's like someone who is like a bull in a china shop. That's what this virus is a bull in a china shop. And it's breaking dishes everywhere it's going. And some dishes are out of reach of that bull, so they survive. And other dishes are not going to survive this bull. And this virus is like a bull or a bully. And so you must now know how to deal with this bully of a virus. And so I don't care if you can handle the environment. I mean, I'm watching, my husband was watching InfoWars tonight. I was watching with him. I'm just like, let's see what Alex Jones has to say. Oh my God. And so they're recording these people at these town hall meetings are like, I'm not going to wear a mask and my freedom is at stake and I'm not going to abide by any rules and all this other stuff and I want my rights on. And it's like nobody cares whether or not it's your rights or not. Can you handle the environment? Whether you get a vector and it's still causing thermodynamics, whether or not whether you breathe in the environment and you go and hang out with no mask and a bunch of people, you're still subject to the terms and conditions of the elements and the environment. The environment is the platform, and then what you choose, how you choose that platform, is going to then, first of all, just still cause the energy. So whether you get a vector to induce antibodies, or whether you breathe in the environment and it still induces antibodies, whether it's demoting your evolution or promoting it, it's still energy that you're going to have to deal with that not everybody understands. And that's what people don't get. So who cares if you wear a mask or not wear a mask? Who cares if you get a vector or not get a vector? Because you're still subject to thermodynamics. That's what people don't freaking understand. That's why they promote both sides of the argument. That's why you saw one side where like maybe a couple months ago, 6 months ago, they're like, okay, nobody say anything bad about the vectors, and we're going to put you on account warning if you put out any misinformation. And so we were all very sensitive in how we said things and how we wrote things, putting in different characters, but we still got the point across, right? Now they don't care. Now they just have the little square box that says, whatever it says. And I'm pretty careful in how I word things anyways. But now they're saying, oh yeah, it doesn't matter if you've been therapized, they're still dealing with it. They're still, symptomatic. Or they're still testing positive. And it's just like, okay, so now they're allowing the fact that now people who have been recently vectorized can also drop antibodies and potentially influence somebody else's immune system, which we already knew anyways, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. But they didn't want to honor that narrative. They wanted to keep the narrative that everyone who is spreading things around are not vectored. But now both sides of the equation are influencing the environment, which we already knew because it's physics, but no one really came from that physics standpoint because everyone was still buying into one side or the other. It only took me realizing with so much freaking research, I think my head's spinning, that it won't matter which side. But I knew it wouldn't matter which side because anytime we have these arguments, it's the illusion of choice. The environment and thermodynamics is undiscriminatory. It doesn't discriminate. The environment has already been set. This is the new world. And then everybody in it is little mini worlds. And with all those little mini worlds, you have your own unique chemistry that's going to influence the environment. And so, it's either going to build you up or it's going to tear you down. It's building me up because I'll tell you what, I've been so on point today. Like, I'm like, holy shit, I made all these different connections and I realized the whole equality. So it doesn't matter what you do as far as physics because it's still thermodynamics. It's still energy regardless. And now I can explain it. You have your initial action, which is the viral environment. Then the reactions, the pluses and minuses, or the cured state of decline, those will still work against you unless you feed your body. I don't care what it is. And you're not supposed to be in a cured state, not in this dynamic environment, not with the amount of viral entities. And someone was like, so you're supposed to be sick all the time? Yes. Prior to the COVID, no. Because we were already kind of used to influenza. It was just kind of mutating here and there, not a big deal. It's only fall and springtime when people are having issues. But now I felt this. I felt all different types of the variants. And I still feel them. I feel it today. And I'm energetic. Okay? And so I'm just like, oh my lordy, oh my lordy. So this virus is building me up. It's not tearing me down, but it's tearing other people down, though they don't see it. Because it's either pretty slow because they have a lot more to work with. And they're already used to feeling kind of bad anyway, so they just keep taking their stuff to suppress the evolutionary energy. But, and they have a few insurance policies in their body, but those insurance policies are going to get satisfied or going to get cashed in. And how many insurance policies do you really have in your body? Some people are very scant in their insurance policies. They're already burning through a lot of them, and they don't know it. They will know it when that day finally comes, when an event happens to their vital organs, or they start feeling so much pain, or their weight starts dropping rapidly. You're going to also see that. So watch your friends dropping weight. Like, I feel the energy so much that my eye is fluttering. Like, you have that rapid eye movement, like the little eye flutters, eye butterflies, whatever. Okay, so watch the people around you. This energy is very intense, and I felt it today. You guys, good luck. I'm serious. Feed all viruses. Feed the energy. Do not anesthetize yourself. Do not take anything. Just feed it the food supply. All right, bye.